Hey YouTube, I got a quick PSA for you. To dark-skinned people, both male and female, stop feeling ashamed, stop feeling embarrassed, you know, stop hiding that you like or prefer light-skinned people. You know, and I know some people are going to be taken aback by this. I'm like, "Hey, what are you talking about? Like, what? You're crazy." But where I'm coming from with this is that oftentimes dark-skinned people, both male and female, tend to not want to just express their like or preference for lighter skinned people, both, lighter skinned females and males. You know, they kind of want to have they want to do it in secret. They want to hide with it. They don't want to, they kind of feel maybe a little embarrassed or a little ashamed to like someone, have a preference for somebody who doesn't reflect them. You know? And I do understand where that comes from, but nevertheless, the thing is, when you're hiding, when you're feeling ashamed, when you're feeling embarrassed, you're sending the message as if you're doing something wrong, as if it's wrong to like or prefer a lighter skinned person. Is it? Because the thing is, when it comes to lighter skinned people liking and preferring darker skinned people, it's it's considered pretty normal. It's not considered anything out of the ordinary, you know. And I believe low key the community kind of even sets it up that way, where they kind of do, you know, set it up so that, lighter skinned people are they are completely 100% able to openly express their preference for darker skinned people. But I don't think it goes the other way around. The community is not open, does not socialize black people to be 100% open to expressing their preference for lighter skinned people. You know. But I'll put it to you this way though. Let's say if you had, a light skinned male and a light skinned female, and both of them had preferences for darker skinned folk, right? And they're like, I really do like if I came on here, well, maybe I shouldn't use myself, but let's say if somebody came on here and they said, um, well, I guess I'll use myself. It makes it a bit more personal. But let's say if I said like, oh, I think, dark skinned females are like really beautiful. Like they're so like their beauty is so captivating. You know, it's just something about them that's just, really appeals to me, right? But I can't let anybody know that. Wouldn't you kind of feel some type of a way about that? Because it's like, well, why couldn't you let anybody know that? So then you jump to the next question. It's like, okay, is there something wrong with the way that you feel? Do you think that there's something wrong with that? Do you think that, that's something that that's embarrassing or that is shameful to participate in? You know, like, someone like, like literally saying like, oh, I can't let anybody know I like dark skinned people, you know? And I think that's kind of like at play when it comes to dark skinned people's, liking light skinned people. And it's it's just yeah, I think it speaks to how lighter skinned black people, you know, um, as well as, mixed race and biracial folks who identify as black. I think it just speaks to how they are viewed by darker skinned people, within the community. I think, sometimes it's viewed as sort of like a bit, I guess, kind of like, you're black, but you're not black. You know, you know, it's, I know it's a bit of a odd concept to explain, but it's just like kind of like, there's levels to blackness versus it being like an all or nothing thing. you know. So it's kind of like set up so like, this society or the community is kind of set up so that, the light skinned people are building up and putting the dark skinned people on a pedestal, kind of like, while on the flip side, you know, it's, you know, I don't know if it's 100% reciprocated. And some people can argue, well, it's kind of reciprocated when it comes to the dark-skinned males putting the light-skinned females on the pedestal. Perhaps, yeah. I'll say that. But I'll say as a collective, like light-skinned people as a collective, both as a group versus dark-skinned people as a group, it kind of doesn't seem 100% reciprocated, Or it doesn't really seem like totally reciprocated because I think, um, dark skinned folks, they just kind of feel some type of, I think they may feel sort of like a bit embarrassed or ashamed to like or have a preference for lighter skinned people because they feel like that could be a form of self hate, I think. And also it doesn't come off as being really like pro black, like, and also just pro self, right? While on the flip side, I don't think that the lighter skinned people are viewed that way when, we tend to gravitate and have preferences for darker skinned people. Why in the community we, take the dark skinned people to task, but we don't take the light skinned people to task? When the light skinned people like dark skinned folks, we're not taking them to task about that. We're just like, hey, okay, that's what's up. But when it's the opposite, dark skinned people liking light skinned people, it's like, oh, we got to question that. We got to analyze that and critique that, right? Yeah. And I'll say, like, me personally, just me personally, I would not shame a dark-skinned person, male or female, for liking a lighter-skinned person, a light-skinned black person, or, a mixed or biracial light-skinned black person. I personally would not shame them. I actually would be happy and appreciative of their honesty and candor. What I would shame is something that, the colorism, I would shame the colorism, um, if the like or preference came from a place of colorism. That's what I would shame, right? If they're saying, oh, this is better, versus just saying, I just prefer this, I just think that, for me, this works, it appeals to me. We kind of know what, at this point, I think we know preferences from colorism now, versus preferences just from other circumstances and other situations. But, long story short, dark skinned people, get out your shame. Ain't nothing wrong with liking or preferring light skinned people, Just like you guys, I'm sure, like, you guys wouldn't shame the light skinned people for liking and preferring you. Let's be real, you know. I don't think I've ever seen a dark skinned person shame a light skinned person for that, right? Because it kind of wouldn't really make sense. Because I think we all kind of low key want to be preferred, you know, and that's across the board, just in, throughout all communities, all groups of people. I think we all kind of just want to be preferred, right? But I'm going to bring this video to a close. Let me know what you think. Because I think this is something that is not quite touched on all that much. It flies under the radar, but I want to talk. I want to talk about this a little bit. So let me know what you think in the comment section. Until the next video, adios and goodbye for now.